Hey, how's it going, everybody? Coach Kyle here, and to my right here, you'll see a video with a single hip groin adduction strengthening exercise. And this exercise is pulled straight out of a study that I'm going to talk about here. The title of the study is "The Adductor Strengthening Program Prevents Groin Problems Among Male Football Players." That's football, not football. It's soccer. It's a cluster randomized controlled trial. So if you have had groin problems in the past, if you're currently having groin problems, if you want to prevent groin problems, this single exercise, according to this study, has been shown to be easy and effective in preventing groin problems. So, and this is among football players, but it's such a simple, easy movement that there's no reason why runners, hockey players, rugby, American football shouldn't do it as well. So the goal of the study was to evaluate the effect of a single exercise approach on all over groin problems in male football players. There was 35 teams, 18, I think how it ended up being was 18. So there was 18 teams in the intervention, 17 in the control, I believe, over 300 players total in each group, and there was a 28-week period, I believe. And what the coaches and the players were instructed to do was to simply do this routine for at least 6 weeks, 2 to 3 times weekly, and they're just throwing it into their regular warm-up, and then maintain it with at least once weekly going forward into the competitive season. So the results, that's what we care about. The risk of reporting groin problems was 41% lower in the intervention group that added in this single movement versus the control group that wasn't instructed to add in the movement. There was an 18% lower risk of reporting a substantial groin problem as well. So the exercise is one exercise that you see here, and there's varying degrees of difficulty. So you can use a TRX type band. You can use a stool like I use just back here. You can have a friend hold your ankle and you can do the movement if you want. So based on strength or based on level of discomfort. So if you're not having any groin problems, you can probably start at the hardest level where the pivot arm, I suppose you want to call it, the person holding your leg is all the way out by your ankle. But if you're currently having groin problems, you might want to start with yourself laying on the floor. The intermediate position would be like a TRX band or your friend holding your knee area versus holding all the way out towards your ankle. But it's a single exercise. That means the compliance for this study was way higher than other studies that have 4, 5 groin exercises. Now that's good and bad. The good part about that is being at a single exercise, like I said, the compliance was super high. But as the researchers say, let's see, this may also be considered a limitation as we have only specifically targeted one of the 4 defined clinical entities of groin pain. We would argue that targeting the adductors addresses the main problem, as adductor-related groin pain accounts for over 2/3 of all hip and groin injuries in football. So it's a give and a take here. The give is that it's only a single exercise, so it's not totally comprehensive. But on the flip side, being a single exercise, it's super easy, super time. The time requirement is super short versus doing 4 to 6 exercises. So better to do this one exercise that potentially covers 75% of all groin injuries versus not doing 4 to 6 exercises that cover potentially all of the clinical criteria for groin problems. So like I said, do this 2 to 3 times weekly starting off. Start with the hardest level where your friend is holding your ankle, and if you're experiencing groin discomfort, kind of move your friend in closer to your groin, or start all the way on the yoga mat, and then you can progress to after 1 or 2 months, just do it once a week. Just add it into your regular warm up once a week. How many reps you should do? Maybe, to momentary failure is a good option. So if you're just starting off with it, it could be 10 reps. If you've done it for a while, it could be 20, 30 reps. Maybe at that point you add an ankle weight, or your friend can kind of add a little bit of resistance with their hand. But just do it once a week, and according to the study, it will help you kind of prevent potential groin problems. And this was a study on male football players, but odds are it's highly likely it can be extrapolated to the ladies, to runners, like I said, to hockey players, to triathletes. So highly recommended that you add this simple exercise into your weekly regimen.